Hello and welcome. Today we're diving into the science of what we should eat for a long and healthy life. We're going to unpack how the choices we make, and really the choices made for us early on, can set the stage for our well-being from our very first moments all the way to our golden years. So let's get right into it.
Okay, so let's start with a big question. It sounds a little wild, doesn't it? Can your health at 60 really be decided by the time you're 2? I mean, think about it. Your risk for obesity, for heart disease, even how your brain functions. Could all of that be laid down before you can even tie your own shoes? Well, some powerful science suggests it's absolutely true. And it all comes down to one remarkably short and critical period. Scientists have a name for this period. They call it the 1,000-day window. This is the time from conception all the way to a child's second birthday. And it's just this period of incredible biological flexibility, where the body is super sensitive to its environment. The nutrition a child gets here doesn't just build a body. It actually programs its future. And this process has a name: metabolic programming.
So what is metabolic programming? Well, you can think of it like setting your body's metabolic thermostat for the rest of your life. The nutrition you get in the womb and as a tiny infant can permanently shape your physiology. It influences how your body is going to handle energy and nutrients for decades to come. Now, you might be thinking, how do we know this isn't just a theory? Well, tragically, the Dutch famine during World War II gave us a powerful real-world experiment. Researchers studied the children of mothers who went through the famine and found something fascinating. Their health outcomes as adults were totally different depending on when the starvation happened. If it was late in the pregnancy, it led to low birth weights at a higher risk of diabetes later. But if the exposure was early in pregnancy, even if the baby was born in normal weight, those individuals had a higher risk of obesity and heart disease as adults. It's just a stunning illustration of how incredibly sensitive that early window really is.
All right, so let's zero in on that first year of life. After birth, the demands for growth are just astronomical. I mean, the rate of development is faster than at any other point in a person's life, and that requires a tremendous amount of energy.
To put that energy need into perspective for you, a healthy newborn needs about 120 kilocalories per kilogram of body weight every single day. Compare that to a typical adult, right? We only need about 25 to 30. This is just an incredible metabolic furnace, and it absolutely has to be met with the perfect fuel.
So, after decades of research, we now have a very clear two-step roadmap for this crucial first year. The first 6 months are all about one thing, and the second half of the year is about making a really careful and deliberate transition.
For those first 6 months, human milk is, without a doubt, the gold standard. It's really a marvel of biology. It's not just food, it's this dynamic, living substance that actually changes its composition to meet the baby's needs as they grow. It provides perfectly tailored nutrients and, this is huge, a powerful immunological shield against infections. Then, at about 6 months, the journey evolves. The iron stores that an infant built up in the womb start to run low. And at this point, it becomes absolutely critical to start introducing other foods. Specifically, we're talking nutrient-dense foods that are rich in minerals like iron and zinc, which are just vital for brain development and immune function.
Okay, so we've just laid out the ideal blueprint for that first year. But when we zoom out and look at the global reality, well, that ideal plan runs into a really complex and growing problem. In today's world, you see, malnutrition actually wears two very different faces. And sometimes you find them in the very same communities, or even in the same household. So on one side you have undernutrition, which leads to conditions like stunting, where a child is too short for their age, and wasting, where they're too thin. And on the complete other side, you have overnutrition, which is driving overweight, obesity, and a whole host of chronic diseases. Experts call this the double burden of malnutrition, this bizarre reality where deficiency and excess exist side by side.
And this paradox, it's speeding up all over the world, especially in countries that are going through what's called a nutrition transition. As societies change, traditional, nutrient-rich diets often get replaced by energy-dense, ultra-processed foods that are packed with calories but, really poor in essential nutrients. And that's what creates this dual problem.
So, what's the solution? Well, thankfully, the evidence points us to a really clear set of principles. The guidelines lay out the fundamental building blocks for a healthy way of eating, from the toddler years all the way through adulthood. It's really all about creating a balanced plate, lots of different vegetables, whole fruits, whole grains, lean proteins, and dairy.
And here's the crucial point. Building these healthy patterns early in life isn't just about being a healthy kid. It is a long-term investment that pays off for decades, directly shaping our health as we get older. A perfect example of a healthy pattern is the Mediterranean diet. Now, this isn't some new fad. It's one of the most studied dietary models on the planet. And the research is crystal clear. Following a pattern like this is strongly linked to a lower risk of chronic diseases and helps promote what scientists call healthy aging.
So what does that actually look like on your plate? Well, it's all about emphasizing whole, minimally processed foods. You've got a foundation of plants, so vegetables, fruits, whole grains, and legumes. The main source of fat is healthy stuff like olive oil. You have moderate amounts of fish and poultry, and then you really limit red meat and sweets. It's more of a pattern, not some super rigid prescription.
But here's the thing, and this is so important. Achieving this kind of healthy eating isn't just about individual willpower. You know, optimal nutrition, it's really a team sport. It requires support at every single level. It starts with our personal choices, for sure, but it also means having community programs that make healthy food accessible, and it goes all the way up to public policies that make the healthy choice the easy choice for everyone.
So, after all of this science, what's the core message you should take away? Well, it all comes down to one simple but really powerful idea. This little phrase, make every bite count, it just says it all. Nutrition isn't about being perfect. It's about being intentional. It's about recognizing that with every meal, with every bite, we have an opportunity to nourish our bodies and to build out foundation for long-term health.
So here it is. This is the blueprint for lifelong health. The first 1,000 days are foundational. They program our future. That first year sets the stage. Childhood is all about building the habits. And the reward for all of this? It isn't just a longer life, but a healthier, more vibrant one.
And that leaves us with one last thing to think about. We've seen that health is bigger than any one person. So the question for all of us is, how can we take this knowledge and use it not just for ourselves, but to support a healthier future for everyone in our communities? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer.